everybody, welcome to Money Matters. I'm Mickey Giacomini, and today we have back with us, of course, Marshall Goins. And today we're going to talk about making a match. I mean, does that like throw you, Marshall? Is that kind of wacky?
What are you talking about? Matchmaking? What are you talking about?
We're talking about finding your perfect financial match. Because it really is a relationship. I know. I watch too many of those dating shows.
Gosh, are you into the Golden Bachelor? Is that your thing these days?
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to confirm or deny whether or not I've ever watched those, but I'm just saying that you and I have all these great talks about investments and so forth and the things that you stand for. And so when I'm talking to my friends and my family and we're talking about investment, advising and all that kind of stuff, I can't help but always think about some of the things that you say. You know, you're there for your clients. It's such a great relationship. You really care about them. And it really is about finding that perfect match, because how many of you out there have had an investment advisor who you're just like, okay, you might have met them once and then you never heard from them again, you know, and you're so not like that. So I want to talk more about that today, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are seeking a really great relationship with their investment advisor. So can you share a little bit about some of the things that you think are important that people should be looking for in somebody who's advising them with their finances?
That's a great setup. And you surprised me with the analogy, you know, it's almost too close for comfort, but it's perfect though, because you do have a relationship with your advisor over long periods of time, and you need somebody that you feel comfortable with, right? So, you know, you really have to kind of trust your instincts, because there's a lot of technical things you could know and watch for, but you have to be around somebody that you trust, right? But also that you feel comfortable just chatting with and sharing your most, you know, concerning issues, right?
True. So true. Because I know, Marshall, you've told me about some of your clients that you started with so long ago, and you've gone through so many different life, what's the word I'm looking for? Chapters with them. And I that really resonates. You know, I think that's really important for people to understand that you might be somebody who's around with them before they even have children, starting families, growing their careers, you know, all these different things that they may be going through, and, you know,
right. Yeah. And so you mentioned people that have an advisor and, you know, thinking about how that relationship is going, but it's also people that have never had an advisor. A lot of people don't have an advisor and they don't know what they're missing or what to expect with that. But, you know, the relationship analogy is perfect for that. You know, I've told you before that, you know, unfortunately, you know, a lot of times when somebody passes in their family, they call us first. We're one of the first phone calls.
Yeah.
Which just recently we said, you know, listen, we'll take care of everything and make sure everything's on track, but focus on your family and the service and all that. I mean, that's how soon people call us, you know? And so if you don't have an advisor, you don't realize the depth of the relationship, because, you know, we take notes, we keep up with folks. And so we're able to, you know what's really happening in people's financial life. And so I do enjoy it. I enjoy getting to know what's happening. You know, where'd you go on vacation? What's going on? You know, what makes me uncomfortable sometimes is if I get a request for something and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I want to know what's going on. What's happening with them, right? I get a request for $25,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Are they okay? And it's not about the money.
Oh, because they want to take out money. Got you.
They want to take out money, right? And it's not about the money. It's about what's happening. Yes. I want to know what's happening, right? So I'm really curious about that. But, you know, somebody you trust, somebody you can talk to. And then one of the things I try to do is not talk in a jargon or words, concepts that people don't understand, right? Because a lot of times for different reasons. I don't know. People will use fancy jargon or expressions or phrases, and people are just in the dark. They don't know what that's all about. So I try to keep it simple. And we did that podcast a while ago about talking to a 12-year-old. I was listening to something just recently about the way somebody knows something is if they can explain it to a kid, to a child.
Absolutely.
Right?
So true. I mean, you talk a lot about just common sense investing advice. That's just, you break it down when you're teaching and guiding and helping people to grow their money. So, yeah.
We don't have to make it fancy. At this point, I don't need to try to impress anybody with that kind of stuff. But if people want to take a deep dive on, investing and strategies and statistics, happy to do that. But that's not where we start, right?
Right.
But the other phrase that we've used in the past is find an advisor with the heart of a teacher.
Yes.
Right. Because, I tell people you won't necessarily know what I know. But over time, you will understand more as we have conversations about stuff. And so a lot of times people come in anxious because they know that there's a lot that they don't know. But the point is, over time, as we talk and you see how this happens, people will learn. Right. And then the other thing, I really encourage people to do is, every year, a couple of years, whatever, sit back and think about, is my advisor doing a good job?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
For what I'm paying them.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. And that is a question that comes up so much. So, I mean, first of all, they want to know, how do you get paid? What am I paying you? And that reflection piece is so important, right?
Yeah. There was actually a commercial on this recently. I mean, not recently, several years ago. Like, sometimes I'll put golf on Sunday afternoon so I can take a nap. Is that TMI, too much information? Because they talk so, but anyway, I watch the commercials because they have a lot of financial service commercials on there. And one of them was about how much your broker gets paid. And it was like, they didn't, the point of the commercial was the client didn't know. And so it's important to, number one, know how your advisor gets paid. Is it commission or is it a fee?
Sure.
Is it a monthly? Is it an annual, quarterly? How is it paid? How much is it? How is it calculated? And then you have to figure out, is it worth it? What's the value of the advice? Is it worth what they're doing for me? And so I encourage people, help them think that through, because, you can look at the percentage, you can look at the dollar amount, and then you can look at how your accounts performed. That's one way to do it. Sure. Right.
Sure.
But there's a lots of things an advisor does that is not just the number, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of what we do is just coaching, helping people stay on track, right?
Yes.
When things happen in their life, helping them stay on track and not panic out. And so, planning wisely and staying on track is a big part of what we do. A financial coach, right? There's a lot of evidence that, Jim, I don't know, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but have you ever had a coach at the gym or anything like that?
I thought you were talking about a client named Jim. I'm like, oh God, Marshall, where are you going? I don't know who Jim is. And probably shouldn't be talking about Jim.
I am going to the gym, having a coach.
Have I ever had a trainer? Are you hinting that I need a trainer, Marshall?
Oh, what I'm asking is, my point is, you do better if you have help.
So I'm stuck on the fact that you think I need a trainer. Wow.
No, you would.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Marshall knows I'm muy fuerte. I don't need a trainer. I'm tough. I'm strong.
Is that Spanish? Is that what that was?
Of course it is. Jeez. You need to get on the app and start practicing. But you know what? Speaking of resources, because that's a great resource, by the way, people. Resources is something that you are always talking about. You are always sharing great books and great tips and so forth with me and everybody and your clients. And everyone, I feel like I hear you talking about things all the time that you're able to help people with and share. And we have a lot of things on our website too. That's really important. We were just talking about this. We have a huge library of videos and podcast shows and blogs and all that kind of stuff. And I know you're really big on that. That's really important.
It is having good resources and references and stuff like that. And so, yeah, when you think of an advisor, you think about doing background check, looking online, and that's good. That's okay. You know, a lot of people get into the, the letters behind the name. That is not as big a deal for me. Whether it's a CFP or a CFA or, MBA, that kind of stuff. What's most important, we've already discussed, right? Somebody you can trust, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you understand what they're saying.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. I have a tax advisor, and I've been with him forever because I can call him up and say, I don't understand what's going on. And within a couple sentences, I'll go, oh, okay, I get it. I understand. Thank you. So that's what you want with your advisor. And so fees, services, philosophy, and it's, there's a set of questions people will ask me sometimes, and that's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. They should.
But what you're paying attention to is how they're responding and how they're making you feel, right?
Exactly.
Right. So what is that expression? Help me out. It's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I've heard that. And also I've heard it's always about the way you make them feel.
There you go.
That's important. And I feel like that's where your clients just, they love you because of that. So, and it's interesting too, because you have clients all over the United States. So a lot of people think that Marshall only has clients in California and Tennessee because we have our main offices in those states, but you've got clients in all the states, maybe not all the states, but a lot of states throughout the United States, right?
Definitely Hawaii. I don't know. I was thinking about Alaska. I don't think I have anyone in Alaska, but definitely Hawaii, a couple in Hawaii.
Well, those of you watching, maybe you could be the first Alaskan client with Marshall. So I always feel like what's really important is to trust your gut. And when you are interviewing someone to be your financial advisor, whether it's Marshall or someone else, if it doesn't feel right, you need to walk away.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, they're handling your money, and that's a big deal. And you want to make sure it feels good. So
and so a little inside baseball, a little inside scoop.
Ooh. When
I talk to someone in a first meeting and I'm evaluating them as well.
Oh, I know.
Can I meet their expectations? Some people have such out of control expectations. It's going to be hard to meet those expectations.
He's talking about me, everybody, because I do have high expectations.
Right. And so, but you got to see if you're going to be a match. And so we do this a lot more than people do coming to us. And I want to make sure we can exceed expectations.
Absolutely. That's so important. It really is important. And I think that's why you have so many amazing and happy clients, and why they really trust you, and they know that you are that person that they can call with a question, and in 2 sentences or maybe less, they understand what it is that they called to find out from you, because you really do have a great way of breaking it down. And I think that's really important for all of you out there, whether just a little bit about investments or a lot about investments. It's important to be able to have that relationship with your advisor where you can have that great conversation and that great relationship. So I really want to encourage everybody to reach out today and make an appointment to meet with Marshall and see if maybe he is your financial advisor match.
Hey, Mickie, just want to make this point.
Sure.
We do a lot of in-person meetings, and we do that a lot, but we're also doing more Zoom meetings for folks. And so, people want to schedule a first phone call, so it's, low pressure. We can have a good conversation on the phone.
Sure.
We could do a Zoom call, right? If you're not, close by, happy to help you with that. And then in person is the best, right? But I wanted to mention those 3 options to get started.
Yeah, I know that you do that a lot, and especially because, again, everybody, he has clients in all these different states across the United States. And so, if that makes it easier for you, you can set up an appointment today and Zoom in with Marshall and see if he's your financial advisor match. Seriously, do it. Well, thank you so much, Marshall. I think that you've made a lot of great points on what people should be looking for with a financial advisor. And hopefully all of you will take that to heart. So thanks so much. This has been Money Matters, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.